my take on the dynamic duo of the man and woman of God. I want to first off emphasizing walking in your godly path, being your highest self, not only but striving and working hard, whatever it takes to remain your highest. Doing things in the godly way. As a woman, doing things in a godly woman way. A man doing things in a godly man's way. The dynamic is instinctual. And I want to share my take on the path that I'll be on, the path that I look for, and the path that I believe in. When there's other paths and other ways to walk, other ways to have a dynamic between the man and the woman, it may not be so godly. It may not be so instinctual. So this is for me and for the ones that love me, care for me, the ones that are with me. There is a man and there is a woman. And before they come together, and if they ever come together, they are enough. They are beings that have to build themselves up in character, that holds character, that has personality. A woman is a woman and has the instinct of a woman, and a man is a man and has an instinct of a man. This woman has strength. She can use it. She has integrity. She can show it. This man as well. And then they can come together. And then there's the dynamic. Whatever works in your life, with your man, with your woman, as we like to hear it. But now, there is a way, whether it's what you want, what you feel you need, what you feel you deserve, whether it is what the world and society is walking in, is following. There is still an instinct. There is still the godly way, which is instinctual. Those go hand in hand. Instinctual because God created us. There is a higher power, a creator. He created the woman and the man for the woman, and the woman for the man. That is the creator's way. That is the creator's path. And inside, there's an instinct. There's a drive. There's a desire. There's a comfort. There's a yearning. There's a need. There's a want. There's a passion. There's a dream. There's a fantasy. To want exactly and what He has aligned for us, for our life, for our purpose, for our existence, for the dynamic, for things to prosper and be abundant. That dynamic creates that harmony. It's electric. It's deep. It's love. It's a godly love. It's a godly passion, a godly desire, a godly need. That I need my God in my life. We need Father in our life. For there to be harmony in the world, for there to be harmony in me individually. For there to be harmony in Him individually. For us together as one to be in harmony, to be in sync. We all have to be in the path and walking in our godly, instinctual needs and wants and fantasies. All those things can appear. All those things are created just by walking in that path. So now, you in this world, however long we have in this world, because this world is temporary, so don't worry. But if you are to ever find yourself in love, falling in love, because we wouldn't want anything else if we're going to sacrifice and make big decisions. Let it be for someone that is worth it. If you ever find yourself trying being open to it. Always be mindful, because this world is not easy. And so we're going to talk about that for a second. Because really, it doesn't matter where we are, God can make a way. Indeed. It doesn't take me to necessarily be in another world to get all the things that are for me. We start preparing now. We start working on it. We start believing and knowing that anything's possible. That it can happen tomorrow. It can happen in a blink of an eye. It can happen within the hour. Because Home is not a place, it is you. It is the version that you are. And if you don't feel safe or you don't feel like yourself, then you need to find yourself again. You need to come back and get real and get deep. Because no matter where you go, you're always going to feel whatever version you're in. And that's going to determine how you see the world, how you treat yourself, how closed-minded you may be or become just because of the version that you are. Because you're not fully fulfilled and built up and healed. So we prepare. We prepare individually, because I am a woman and I have womanly things that I need to make sure that I take care of. Take care of myself as a woman. Take care of myself as a being, just as a soul, as a spirit. I got to make sure my spirit So, here we are. It doesn't matter where you are in control. It doesn't matter where you are, how least you may seem. God has a purpose and He can make a way, because there is a way for you. There is a way to make it through, not only, but to get exactly what God has in store for you. But we have to prepare, and we have to get real and get deep. So I want to share my take on the dynamic duo of the man and the woman of God. In this world, we are beings. We are beings in a body. So it's complex, indeed. These are things that I would not have to speak about if I was just spirit and I was home, but I am here. And so take what you can take from this. This is my opinion, of course. This is no one else's. My philosophy on this take. And this is how I see my path, at least while I'm here. Because here's the thing, since it is complex here, you have to work just a bit more. You have to put emphasis just a bit more on it. You have to maybe speak on it to remind people, sort of those things. The dynamic of a man and a woman at that godly, in that path. You have to choose that path. Until you don't have to choose it. You're walking in it. You're being it. And of course, you're not going to turn back around. You're not going to let yourself down. You're not going to let the other person you're walking with, you're not going to let them down. But until you are able to just walk in it, we have to choose this, because this is a path among many other paths, many other people with their opinion and their philosophy and their take on the dynamic duo of a man and a woman. If even that. You got to get real, you got to get deep. call it experiment until you find yourself exactly where you were always meant to be, in a place like this where it's complex, in a place like this where there is a war waging against love and prosperity and harmony in the godly way, especially the godly dynamic duo of the man and the woman together in unity. I'm not going to play and act like I don't know how hard it could be for somebody, but getting real and getting deep helps tremendously. Communication every single day, every single week on particular topics such as this. If you want this, if you feel you need this, if you're ready for it, there are things that needs to partake in order for things to align. Just as individually, I have to prepare. I have to take care of myself, not just as a woman, but as a spirit. So the work is never done. Never. Just like you're ever learning and ever growing, that's in everything. That's in your relationships, that's in you. That's with every person that you pass. You're always learning something. You can take away or you can give. There's always something to give and there's always something to take away. That's what being not perfect. That's what being not perfect looks like. That's what it takes when you're not perfect. A constant consistency, a constant devotion and want and need. There's need for passion. There's need for imagination. But in order for those things to happen, I need to be in a place, in a space. I need to focus on those things. I need to show it. Because we're in a world where, and we'll always be in many worlds if that is your destiny. If you're fortunate enough to live other lives, there will always be a need to protect, treasure, cherish what is good, what is God, what you have between each other. If you have a good thing, we're not robots and we'll never be robots. He's not going to literally control us. He makes a way for me. I say, take the will, Father, because I don't know, I don't see what's in store. I'm not going to try to control my fate, but I can control my actions right now. I can just hope that I'm making the best decision. And I ask him for approval and signs, that sort of control, that I want him to take control when it's necessary. but I still have to do the work. He said, I'm going to make sure that you get all the things I have in store for you. So if that means that I'm going to allow certain things to happen, certain things to transpire, because he knows that that leads to being built up in character, then so be it. Now, the dynamic duo of the man and the woman of God doesn't seem like perfection, doesn't look like going outside of yourself to seek him. You search within yourselves. You seek out each other because you have each other. Because this man is a godly man and this woman is a godly woman. So every time she speaks and what she says is wisdom. It's not nonsense. It's not destruction. It's not folly. It's not slick like honey to only fool you and deceive you. This is a godly woman that's not perfect, but takes measures into making sure that she does the best she can. And that is to seek inside. It is to keep the word, to seek Father, to ask him of things, not to ask the fellow man necessarily. Not a need to go to other places outside of us, not necessarily. When we have the Father, when all we have to do is speak out, release, communicate with each other, and be real and get deep. The truth is there. The instinct. Those simple but vital things. Communication. Nothing will happen if there's no communication. I don't know you. You don't know me if there's no communication. I don't know what you need. I don't know what you want. I don't know to be able to improve something if there's no communication. Whatever works in your dynamic, but you have to communicate. Whatever that insists of is between you and your man, you and your woman, but you have to communicate. And this is not a communication where when things go wrong, this is every day. I'm old-fashioned in this way. I was raised where we went outside, we talked. Yes, we did not have this technology, so things were easier and clearer for me to be such privileged, be able to see the way the world once was and how it's supposed to be, what is normal, what communication looks like, healthy communication, not a communication where I have to talk to you, or I only talk to you when I'm upset or I'm angry or when I'm happy. No, you had to talk to these people because you wanted to. You wanted to talk to these people because you had to. And regardless whether you wanted to or you had to, it made everything healthier. Everything a bit more easier. At the end of the night and in the beginning of the morning. So of course throughout the day everything flowed. And you were still able to do what you wanted to do individually, and there not be any question, there not be any thought. There was an understanding. There was a knowing of oneself and each other. You knew who was at least in the house with you. That old-fashioned way, that healthier way, that instinctual godly way, I personally will not settle for anything less than that. Everyone knows, at least, when there's no communication, it's off-putting. Now you're reliant on the spirit, and so you start to judge the spirit and say, what's wrong with you? I feel something's wrong. Only because you failed to communicate. And regardless if you do communicate, your spirit will tell on you. So you can go head on and say you're okay, but if you're a person that is not an actor, it will weigh on you and it will show. If you're just not having the best day, you don't feel right, you walk into a place and you don't feel like you belong there, you can be there and you can smile, but just know that people will sense it. Because you're just not quite yourself. It's like when someone knows you. They know every single thing about you. They know when you're happy because you do certain things. They know when you're excited because your voice changes. You do certain things. And so you can say, oh, I'm excited. But there's that one thing or those few things that you didn't do. It's almost like that, where just be real, just get deep, just communicate, okay? And here's the thing, not walking in that dynamic duo of the man and woman, the godly instinct. There's other paths where you find that in this path, you're willing and you want to communicate. You actually have good communication, but this person doesn't. You find that there's a path where this person does not want to communicate. They don't find that it's necessary. They don't find that it's necessary to communicate at this moment, when to me, personally, communication is the only way out and the only way through and the only way in. Because here's the thing, you can say, well, it's just not time to communicate, but understand that, to put emphasis on it, yeah, that is your opinion, but with that opinion, it can lead to you not feeling like it's not time to communicate, that you want to wait till tomorrow. But in that between space, in that between time, now there is no harmony. There is no peace. There is worry. There is not a good vibration, because we waited when we could have talked about it at this very moment. You know, when you nip something in the bud because you don't want to fight, you don't want to argue, because you actually love this person. It's different, I know. When you were not evolved and immature and young, some people like to argue. Some people want to get a rise out of you. Some people will provoke you. But this is not that. When you love someone and you're in love and you're godly, you want to make this person happy. You just want to be happy. Spicy talk and spiciness is what you need to see and will be enough. There's no need for fighting and arguing to try to get some sort of feeling out of that. But I feel your involved self will come to learn that. Spiciness comes from a place where, yeah, I'm opinionated. Yeah, I'm going to poke you. You're going to poke me. I'm going to be humorous about certain things. I might not be as serious. And maybe this person is being serious in this moment. Typically, in the old, not evolved version, some people will argue because of that. You will fight, you break up, you get upset. But this is the evolved version where I'm in love with this person. They're in love with me. There's harmony. This is this path of walking in a godly instinct and following that, wanting that, needing that. There's a devotion, there's a passion. The spiciness is because even though these things may not be something that you may not like in the moment, there's still love there. There's still tender care. You're going to look at the person and be like, can you be serious right now? But you're not going to be upset because you love this person. When there is love, there's no room for discord. When there's love, there's no like abuse. There's no room for that. There's just spiciness. Like, oh, I mess with him sometimes, he messes with me, but it's not gonna end us. It was not even a negative thing. We didn't take it negatively, but we understand that we're messing with each other. We understand that we're being opinionated right now. We're debating about something. But I love this person. We're gonna laugh about it. I'm gonna go in there and like poke him. What'd you say? What'd you say? It's not gonna be, oh, I'm angry. Oh, I hate this person. Oh, I can't stand them. You shouldn't be with them then. Then that is not your person. Same thing, if you have an argument with your lover or an argument with a Grim Reaper, two different people, two different reactions and two different communications and two different emotions, two different outcomes. You can argue with your lover, which will be rare. But let's say hypothetically, I said debate, but some people may say, oh, we had an argument. But sometimes it may not be an argument because they'll ask you, are we arguing? No. Because it almost like it stops it before it even gets there. because you feel it. You feel like, I don't want to treat you that way. I don't want to talk to you like that. I don't want to get you upset. I don't want to get upset. What are we even about to argue about? What are we talking about right now? Something stops that, right? It prevents it. It's working for you. The love in you, the love that you guys have, the godly instinct, it interferes. Like, wait, are we arguing? Or you kind of compromise together, not just one-sided, like, oh, I'm just going to compromise with her. No, and what she wants. No, it's, we get real and we get deep. And we want to compromise where we both feel heard and seen. We can both do what we want to do. If I wanted to go left and this person wanted to go right, and that was sort of the debate, like, which way should we go? What way should we go first? Because I want to go this way, you want to go that way. We're going back and forth. That could end up in an argument, but it's not necessary. It's not, it wasn't intended for that. See, not in this path. This conversation wasn't to be provoked. It was just to simply say individually, honey, I'm going left, because that's where I want to go right now. The compromise is, how about you go left, you go where you want to go, I go where I want to go. Because you don't always have to go the same way. We are individuals. It's okay. That's the closest sort of thing that you would really need to compromise with. Just, oh, we're not going to be together today? Oh, okay, well, that's fine. Or we don't always have to do things together. So I'm going to go left and you're going to go right. That's it. What sort of argument would that cause? There wouldn't be. Now, if there was some control issue, then that is the issue. Like, oh, you're coming with me. I don't have to. There should be security, love. Yes, there's passion. Yes, there's, I'm just so in love. I want to be with this person forever. But if you know and you're secure and you respect them, not as your woman, but as a being, as a soul. They know your wants, your needs, your dreams. You have dreams upon dreams, dreams to be with your one and only, and then dreams to do what you're set out to do. My duty and purpose is different from his. I'm on the council with my father. He could do something totally different, because that's who I am individually, and I'll always be that, regardless if I were to come in communion with this person. I am still my own. So there should be no control if you are secure. And being secure, you also need to be with your godly woman, a godly man, and one that is just godly. That's the answer for everything, because if you're godly, you would not be operating in lust. You would actually be with this person because you truly love them. You would be with this person because you truly want to be with them, not because of what they look like necessarily, not because of what they can give you, because all of that will falter the moment that you guys go separate ways. I go left, you go right. There's nothing that's holding security. because there was no love. It was just lust. None of those things last. Security, knowing that your woman cares for you, wants the best for you, truly loves you. Same with the man. When you find something that's good for you, and you know that it's good for you, yeah, you're going to be protective over it. That's with anything. Father says he's a jealous God. He only says that because you ain't going to touch his children. You're not going to touch his child. And to that extent, yeah, he's going to put us through things, but it is him that's going to break us down. And it is him that's going to reward us. Because he's like, I'm your father. Just like he's going to say, you're for me and I'm for you. I'm your man. You're my woman. There has to be security. Because if you don't have security in your relationships, you're thinking worse. You're worrying. You're starting to control things. You're starting to be possessive. And we know we all can have those sort of traits if we're acting in a sort of vibration. There's the dark side and there's the light side. You have to balance it. But if you're walking in your godly presence, your godly path, God is protecting what you have on top of what you choose to work on. Like, I want to communicate. I feel I need to communicate. I believe that communication is first. So I'm doing the work that I need to do naturally in protecting what I have without even really working hard for it. Because I know instinctually that's what I want to do. Because this is not a Grim Reaper. This is a lover. I don't want to argue with this person. It may become spicy because I want to poke around with this person, but I'm not arguing. I'm not trying to make the person angry. No. If you can't smile at your partner, there's something wrong. If you're not debating about something and then you can't smile after, there's something wrong. That is not spiciness. That's something else. When you smile, there's still warmth. There's still connection. Like, yeah, we just debated. Yeah, I was talking to you, telling you what's up, telling you how I feel, telling you what, things that need to be worked on, but I'm still smile because I love you. Just like a child, it's like you can scorn them, you can direct them and help them, guide them. Tough love, but it's all with love versus there not being none. So there's going to be an argument. You're going to be angry. There's no smiling. If anything, you're breaking up. You're leaving a house. You're not coming back. You're not communicating. You don't want to. You let it go for weeks and months without communication. Something's wrong with that. That's not spiciness. That's just straight abuse. Abuse to someone's emotions. Abuse to their dreams and their desires, because now they're finding out this ain't desire, this ain't passion, this ain't love. So, now, my take on the dynamic duo of the man and woman, the godly way, the instinctual way of the two becoming one. In this world, it is complex. And that's all right, because who knows what the other worlds will be like. I'm sure there are all sort of things, but that's the point of persevering. And love can free you. True love. Fighting for that, of believing in it. That's always going to be. So I want to speak on I'm going to step down and speak on things that are silent but loud. And I say this with understanding. I say this from the depths of me. I don't say this because, I just want this and I feel this and feel entitled. No. I feel like the world once upon a time understood it but abused it. So in the way of the dynamic of a man and a woman in society, in the world, in the system, through everything, you see, regardless of whether there's a system, it's corrupt, whether this is a different world, whether this is our world, our house, in someone else's house, around other people, we have to stay solid in who we are. We have to stay solid in our godly instinct and trust in ourselves and seek ourselves and seek only God. It don't matter where we go. As long as we are walking in the path of our instinct, our second nature, our godly nature, we will be protected. So here we are in this world, and they become dreams. They become fantasy now, but it doesn't have to be. Now, you have to still believe and hope that God brings people and a person in your life. And whenever that time comes, it will. Whether it's this life or the next life, anything's possible. All I know is what I know, and what I know is what's true. So regardless if I don't have my man yet, before I even walk through that door of my heart's desires, while I'm getting prepared, I'm going to fester in it. The dynamic between a man and a woman, a godly woman that wants to walk in their strength, trust in the strength of God, the powers of God. Instinctually, the man wants to provide and protect his woman. He wants to take care of her. The woman as well wants to protect and take care of her man. Now, through the worlds and the systems and the ages, you see it fester that men have taken the role to be the person who has to go and work, because in order for you to be able to provide for your family in a system like this, someone has to leave, someone has to go out. It's been like this from the beginning of time, Stone Age, ice. So whether it was him going into a building, a warehouse, a cemetery, working outside in the winter, the summer, to come back with what he can provide for you. That's never going to change. It has not changed. Instinctually, when you are with a man, a godly man, a man that follows his instinct, they always want to provide, and they always want to go out there and work for it. They want to go get it. Not to say that the woman can't or won't. She has. As the ages show you, women can not only do it and allowed to do it, but they have to do it. Everyone's for themselves now. At least in most paths that I see, this is the dynamic, that women are having to do it. At one time, there was not an obligation. Women didn't have to go out and work. Once upon a time, now there was a choice to, because now you're allowed, women are now allowed to go and work and do what men can do, right? In the system or the way that it had been created, that men were at first doing these things. Now women have the right to do these things. So now you start to see women do these things. And then now there's come a time and an age where it's a bit heartless, it's a bit less harmony, if it's a bit less love in the world. So ultimately that cause would affect the woman to have no choice but to go out there. It's no longer a choice. In certain paths, it's no longer the man's duty or what he wants to do. In certain paths, certain men don't follow that instinct. In certain paths, certain men are not financially able to provide for their women. So there are many different paths, and all of them are significant because they exist. They're true. They're all true. And there's reasons behind all of it to justify it. I am just here to say that regardless of the age and the times and people and places, as I've already said, there's still the instinct that a godly man that follows his instinct will always want to provide for his woman. The woman herself, as she's been built up individually, she has strength individually, and she has integrity. We're talking about built up individuals and evolved individuals where she can stand on her own if necessary. She has what it takes. That is why everything is coming to her. Everything is coming to fruition. Everything of her heart's desires. Because she's been prepared. The bride has made herself ready. So let's also keep that in perspective. This woman is capable and she's willing. But now there is a man, a godly man, an instinctual godly man that wants to provide for his woman. And will always, regardless if she wants to help or she doesn't, in that way. So now let's talk about the godly woman, the instinctual godly woman, instinctual, the physical godly, the spiritual godly woman. It's all the same. There are things that we have been fortunate to be, to have, to give to our men, to the world, to God. When you look at a godly woman, you see God. You see that she gives so much to the world already, just being who she is. She gives so much to you. She gives so much to her man. She gives so much to her family. She just can't help it. It's a woman. So instinctually, there's a reason men want to protect their women, because they may be the weaker vessel. They're more sensitive, more emotional, more nurturing. They're always giving. They have maybe less energy. They're always exerting themselves. Even though the men go out and work, the woman is never turned off. Her love and tender care is always on green. She's always on the go. She's always rubbing some ointment on somebody's skin, right? On that baby's booty, on her man's hands, on her own feet. She's making sure. That's a priority to her, without being told to. Not only, but this godly woman can bear children, can bear this man's children. The pain, the change, the transformation that a godly woman goes through. This godly woman has, in order for her reproductive system to be at its healthiest, she bleeds every month. She may go through pain. There's symptoms there. Her body's under always reconstructing, always renewing itself. On top of the work that she may choose to do outside of the home, this woman has so much work that she's doing, that she does naturally. So yes, if this godly woman and this godly man come together and she wants to work, she can. And I'm sure she will. She'll find something to do, because there's always things she's doing. But one thing will never change, and that is the man loving his woman, protecting his woman, and wanting to give her everything, because he knows that his woman, any woman, truly deserves to rest, to lay their feet up, to be pampered, to be cared for tenderly. Yes, she's tough. Yes, she's strong. Yes, she's full of integrity. That's his security, that he knows he has what a woman. He knows that his woman can work and will be willing to. But he doesn't care about those things. He cares about her well-being. That's his instinct. That he knows the type of woman that he has. He has a good thing. And because of all of those things, it's instinctual. I'm going to make sure I protect her. I'm going to make sure she doesn't need anything. Because whether the man felt like she deserved anything, that woman is still going to give this man everything. Whether she feels like she has to, or he asked for it, she just does it. That's her instinctual. That's her godly instinct. So what you want to make sure and seek, not control, but hope in the Father. Put your hope in him, that he brings you a person that is truly meant for you, a godly man, a godly woman that follows his instinct and follows her instinct, because the world has many other paths and people are in those paths, and they can be, because what works for you is what works for you. And I'll leave it there.